What's going on, everybody? It is your man Cleveland Terry, and I have one question for you. Should you play music that you hate? Let's talk about that now. I'm going to try to move through this fast. I got one bar here. Right here. One bar. So yesterday I was running through the gram and one of my favorite Instagram/YouTube guys posted something that looked a little like this. And underneath it, he said this. So that got me thinking, because I've had a different mindset than clearly what's on this post. Before I say anything, I'm going to say this right now. Digital DJ Chips is one of the foremost in the industry as far as training and reviews and evaluations. I have learned a lot from them. I respect them completely. So this isn't about me trying to bash another YouTuber. I'm not doing that. I just saw this post and it gave me a good topic to talk about. Coincidentally enough though, last year at NAMM, I did see him there with his microphone. He had his nice little suit on. He was walking around interviewing people, and I ran up to him and I was like, "Hey man, my name's Cleveland Terry. I love what you do. I do what you do." And he was like, "Good for you." Then he walked away. That sounds pretty normal of a conversation for you walking up to somebody, a complete stranger that you've never seen before, and the response that you'd give. That's what he said. But in my mind, what I heard was, "Run. Hey man, my name's Cleveland Terry. I love what you do. I do what you do." And he said, "You don't do what I do. Get your sub 1000 subbing ass out of here." And he walked away. Could have been in my head though. It's probably just in my head. Insecurities. Back to what I was stating. The question remains, should you play music that you don't like? From my perspective, this is the way I see it. It can be broken down into probably 2 or 3 different ways. The first way, the post came from Laid Back Luke, who is a top echelon producer DJ. Being a top echelon producer DJ gives you certain privileges that your everyday DJ producer doesn't get. For instance, you can play whatever the f*** you want and nobody's going to care because you're Laid Back Luke. But as Cleveland Terry, if I'm trying to play to a crowd and nobody's ever heard of me, I gotta play the stuff that I know is going to work for that crowd, which may or may not be the stuff that I love. Now, again, Laid Back Luke, stadiums, carnivals, concerts, huge things where people pay money just to see him. He is an artist. They are looking for him to give them whatever the hell he wants to give them. So of course, he can play what he wants, and he doesn't have to just say, "You know what, I'm gonna play this song because I know it's popular right now." He doesn't need to do that, but that's not why they're going to see him. If you're DJing and nobody knows who you are, you don't have any original stuff as far as your production, or you're just a DJ that just plays great music, they're gonna be a little more reluctant to say, "Well, why aren't you playing this stuff?" Laid Back Luke, Cleveland Terry. Cleveland Terry. That's better. There is a huge disparity there, and privilege, no privilege. Nobody's saying that you have to play everything you hate. But you can't tell me that out of all the music you play every day, all the time, there isn't music that you're just like, "I can't stand that song, but it makes the people scream, so I'm gonna play that song." You can't tell me you don't do that. Everybody does that. I think sometimes as DJs, we forget that it really isn't about us. And when I see things like that, it kind of makes me feel like it's been lost on them too. I've had music that I have hated, and I drop it in the club or I drop it on an event and people are screaming like crazy for it. You know what that does? That makes me like it, because the biggest thing about being a DJ is not just about, "Oh, look, I'm playing all this hot records, I'm playing all this stuff." It's also about how you make the crowd feel and how the crowd reciprocates that back to you, okay? Because if that crowd is amped and they're screaming to this song that I didn't like before, guess what? I like that song now because it made me feel a certain way when I was playing it, just like it's making them feel a certain way because you're playing it. So it's really important that you realize that just because that song's not for you doesn't mean that that song isn't for everybody else. Sometimes we gotta do stuff we don't want to do to make sure that crowd is involved. Would you rather say, I know that song's a hit, I know that song works, but I'm not gonna play it because I don't like it, even though I know that it's gonna pack my dance floor? Why wouldn't you do that? That is just, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, it's your ego controlling the success of the party. And your ego should have nothing to do with your crowd, okay? The ego is internal. It's what you feel about your DJing. The crowd is not your ego. So you have to remove your ego from the crowd because it's not about you. When you're DJing, it's about them. It's always about them. And even if you're giving them new stuff, and even if you are, throwing tricks in and showing them stuff they've never seen before, it's always about them. It's never about me. It's how you make them feel. That's the most important part. Now, moving over to the private sector, it's impossible for you to not play stuff that you don't like because it's your job to make sure you're giving the client what they need. So sometimes you have to play stuff you don't like. That shouldn't affect your ability to DJ. I was reading some of the comments and some people were like, well, I don't play stuff I don't like because I don't know it and I don't want to put myself in that position. But that doesn't make any sense to me because you should know music you like, but you should also know music you don't like. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean you don't hear it all the time. I can grab a song that I've only heard a couple times and pretty much know the fundamentals of the song or the stuff that works for it. You can't tell me that because you don't like a song, you've completely shut your ears to the world. That's not even realistic. As a DJ, you should be absorbing, all kinds of music. That's really, really important in what we do. And I'm not talking about requests. I'm not talking about that person who walks up to you and is like, hey man, can you play Macarena? No, I'm not playing Macarena. Get out of here. I'm not talking about those people, okay? You can hate that music because that's not necessarily in what you're trying to do. But if you know something is hot, 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 and you just don't like the song, that's the problem. I have learned to like stuff that I wasn't a fan of in the beginning. Just because I'm a DJ and I know that sometimes it's necessary. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but as a DJ, I'm not playing whole songs. So if I gotta play a song that's popular for a minute, is that minute gonna kill me? Is that minute affecting me so badly that my entire artistry is just going down the trash? No, it's not. So work smarter, not harder, okay? Do what's smart, do what makes sense for the crowd. If you know that song's gonna work, drop it. Drop a little bit of it. Get them amped up into going to something harder, but just to say I'm not gonna play something, I don't play something I don't feel. Well, none of us do. None of us do. We are all actors in some way or another. There's plenty of stuff that I've played, I'd be like, yeah, this is fire, and I'm going back and forth, and I hate it. But I know that they love it. So I'm gonna give them what they want. But I'm also gonna give them what I want. Being a DJ is give and take. And it's not this side DJ or this side DJ. As a producer, you can give them what they want. Producer is ultimately an artist. But as a DJ, your job is to give the crowd what they want. And the crowd is not necessarily you. The crowd is a whole different animal when you put them together. That one person might love what you're doing, but add 9 more people to that, and they may change completely. You just never know what you're gonna get. There's songs that I don't play anymore, okay? There's songs that I've just retired. I'm like, nope, I'm done with those songs. There are other good songs out there. I don't need to play these songs. But if all of a sudden I'm playing for a crowd that clearly needs something like that, the classics, I'm gonna give them the classics. And you know what's gonna look good? Me. They're gonna feel good, I'm gonna look good. And that's what I care about. That's enough. So I'm gonna ask you guys right now, What do you feel about playing music that's not your favorite, or music that you hate? And I'm not talking genres like some people are like, I'll never play country, but I'm talking about just legitimately a song that you don't like. Do you never play it? What's your idea? What's your thoughts on it? I want to know. Let's have a conversation, guys. And to all you new people, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace. See, I'm sweating again. I'm in this stupid room. They still haven't fixed my air conditioner.